Ashley Jabode, and I'm majoring in elementary education with a bilingual emphasis.
Hi, I'm Daniela Gomez, and I'm majoring in elementary education with a bilingual emphasis.
Hi, I'm Gerardo Alanis, and I'm majoring in kinesiology.
Hi, my name is Gisela Perez, and my major is special education.
Hello, my name is Brandon Ramirez, and I'm majoring in early childhood education.
My name is Alejandra Lozano, and my major is early childhood education with a bilingual emphasis.
Hi, my name is Guillermo Villarreal, and I'm majoring in mathematics with secondary certification.
Now that you met the crew, we are going to discuss our movie project on radio. A respected South Carolina high school coach puts his reputation on the line by extending kindness to a mentally challenged young black man. Coach Jones sees him day after day pushing a shopping cart filled with simple treasures past the practice field. After his players abuse the poor guy by tying him up and locking him in an equipment shed, Jones becomes more intimately involved, mentoring the boy who becomes known as Radio. Radio lives on the outskirts of town with his loving mother. She describes him as the same as everybody else, just a bit slower than most. Radio assists with football practices and during home games whips up the crowd with his contagious enthusiasm. His pure heart earns him the affection of students and staff alike. Though not everyone appreciates his childlike quirkiness, some heartless, well-connected people would rather mock Radio than try to understand him. That's when the loyalty of those close to him gets put to the test. Set in 1976 and inspired by a true story, Radio preaches compassion, challenges viewers to rethink their priorities, and testifies to the value of every human life.
Radio was first introduced when Coach Jones sees that some of his team players tied up Radio and locked him inside the gear shed, and they threw balls at the shed, and Coach Jones goes to comfort Radio, but he punishes the team for their actions, which I think is great because some coaches just let it slip by, but Coach Jones was always seen as punishing his players for their actions. For example, another instance was when Johnny and some of his friends tricked Radio into entering the girls' locker room, and Radio refused to tell Coach Jones, who told him to do it. But after a while, Coach Jones figures it out and punishes Johnny for his actions by ordering him to sit out from the basketball team for an indefinite time, which is great because most coaches would probably only sit out their players for one game or two because they would not want to lose every game. But he would rather sit him out and lose all the games than letting the bullying continue. Also, Radio eventually takes classes in the high school, and it is apparent that he never completed a formal education. After struggling, Radio eventually learns to read. The movie ends with Radio receiving a high school diploma at the graduation ceremony, and the principal announcing that Radio will continue to receive one every year to make him feel like a part of the school.
With this movie being based in 1976, there are many differences with laws between then and now. Nowadays, it is illegal for a teacher to drive a student to and from anywhere in their private vehicle with the exemption of emergency circumstances. In the movie, the character Coach Jones takes Radio home after a football practice, which could lead to accusations of any kind of abuse towards him. These kinds of situations have occurred and can end in the termination of your occupation. Another example of differences between then and now is that during the movie, Coach Jones tells Radio to help out the team without him being a student of the school or notifying the school of his actions. This could be seen as a problem because of the lack of knowledge about the character Radio. Anything could have happened and the school would not have known anything about it. One of the best examples of laws in schools is the scene in the movie where Radio is denied the privilege of riding the bus with the football team to an out-of-town football game. This also correlates to the fact that the school had no real knowledge of who Radio was. The principal of the school was worried as well about the safety of the students because she did not know who he was and thought anything could have happened to him, including a seizure due to his mental conditions. These are just some of the ways I was able to depict the differences in the current educational aspects of school. and the laws that enforce certain safety precautions in the movie Radio.
Coach Jones is a leader, seasoned educator, and sports coach at Henna High. He is well respected in the community for his professional opinion and expertise in sports. Football coach Jones' best friend's Radio, a teenage boy with special needs. He appears to be shy and most often keeps to himself. At first, Principal Daniels is fearful of the presence of students with special needs in school, but after several months of having Radio participate with school activities, he is accepted as one of their own. Radio transforms from a shy, tormented man into a well-known, outgoing student who later becomes an inspiration to his community. Radio is stacked end to end with virtue. Coaches Jones and Honeycutt show kindness to Radio in simple ways, then give him more responsibility so he can feel like he's part of the team. When players are cruel to the outsider, the punishment is harsh. For Coach Jones, patience and compassion for Radio aren't momentary gestures, but a long-term commitment. He doesn't just offer Radio a cold drink and a pat on the head, he practically adopts him. Others at the school get Radio jobs so that he'll have a sense of purpose. A school board flunky argues that Radio doesn't belong among normal students. Jones sets him straight. When a pushy booster lobbies to have Radio kept off the sidelines at football games, Jones stands his ground. And when a star athlete plays a hurtful joke on Radio, Coach benches him for the big game. Jones confesses regrets about not helping someone in need as a boy.
What educational issues impacted the teaching and learning in this movie? And are these issues still relevant in society today? When I saw the movie Radio, I saw an educator who knows how to connect to students in a way that extends outside the classroom walls, or in this case, the football field. Coach Jones saw Radio and developed a sense of care for him that all teachers should emulate. If a teacher cares for his or her students, the students will inevitably benefit. What Coach Jones did for Radio reminded me of Maslow's theory of basic needs and learning. In a nutshell, Maslow states that a student's basic needs must be met for effective learning to occur. He went to list those needs in a hierarchy where one has to progress through one level to be able to reach the next level. The stages are physiological, safety, belonging, esteem, and then self-actualization. Now, I don't know if this was the movie's intent, but Coach Jones actually helped Radio satisfy all these needs. He first made sure Radio felt like he was in a safe environment. After that, Coach Jones made Radio feel like a member of a group, which in this case was a football team. Lastly, by doing this, Coach Jones was able to unlock Radio's full potential, and Radio became a contributing member to the school. Teachers need to realize that students won't learn if they are hungry, being bullied, or have a very tough home environment. Coach Jones solved all these issues for Radio and made him the man he became. Teachers need to see their students as people who have feelings and not just a body in their classroom. If they pay attention to the student and try to show they care and actually try to do things to improve their lives as much as possible, they will help the students overcome learning obstacles and open their mind to learning better and more effectively. The movie Radio is a case in point in how educators affect lives, and it should be every educator's goal to do the same for every student.
Radio is a mentally challenged man. In the film, they describe him as a lonely and shy person. Every day he would go to a football practice at a high school to watch them play. He would go in his grocery cart along with a radio and observe Coach Jones. A couple of days go by and finally Jones notices him. Jones reaches out to him and eventually Radio became part of the team. What Radio did is help coach the team, but it wasn't easy at first. The team would be so hard on him. In the scene, Radio was shown as a strong character. Coach Jones got the team's attention, but they didn't listen. Back then, bullying was not a crime. Today, if you are bullying someone, it can be considered an assault. Eventually, Radio became accepted by his community. Also, the high school in South Carolina opened their kind heart and accepted Radio. The team players changed their way of thinking about him and any person with disabilities. Not only is this what Radio is going through, but other people from the world that want to be accepted. This is what the students had the opportunity to make good life choices.
The movie Radio is based off a true story about a young African American male with disabilities. It covers the topics of bullying and inclusion in schools. Inclusion means bringing the disabled student into the general population. After viewing this film, people have a more positive view of others in the same situation that is given in this film. It not only sheds light on the side of the disabled student, but it also sheds light on the students that are doing the bullying and the teaching staff that has to deal with the problems at hand. It also covers the more emotional side of the story, which makes you really think and see that this is a real problem going on. It makes you see the positive side of the teachers that actually put forth the effort to bring in these students to the general public, and it makes you see the side of the students that actually try to understand and help those kids with disabilities. So therefore, I believe people will have a more positive view of others that are facing the same situations that is given in this film.
Overall, the movie Radio of a high school coach and the mentally challenged man who he took under his wing is one you'll never forget. This concludes our movie project. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it.